My wife passed away in a car accident half a year ago. Yet tonight, Princess Jinxian, Lu Ruyan, suddenly barged into my house, claiming to be my deceased wife. I was completely stunned. Our first kiss was initiated by me. Our savings account code is 1573X, containing over 500 million dong, which we painstakingly saved over many years. And one more thing, you have a birthmark on your butt. When we were kids, you fought with 3 girls to protect me, and they ended up pulling your pants down. Lu Ruyan seemed to know every single secret between my wife and me. She cried out while knocking on the door, "Hubby, I am your wife, the mother of Xiao Xiao. Chen Mo, please open the door, everything I'm saying is true." Thud. 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 The door was violently pounded on by the woman outside. Clasping my daughter Xiao Xiao tightly, I stared blankly at the door. In my eyes, besides utter bewilderment, there was also a hint of panic. Just a few minutes ago, an incredibly beautiful woman knocked on my door, claiming to be my late wife, Chen Shuidao. My wife passed away in a car accident half a year ago, and my daughter and I had barely managed to emerge from the grief. Yet this woman suddenly showed up pretending to be her. But that beautiful face, and those private secrets between Shuidao and me, how could she possibly know them all? Furthermore, they matched perfectly. At this point, I began to suspect that the woman outside the door might truly be my deceased wife. I didn't dare let her speak any further, or else the neighbors would hear all our family secrets. Fine, I would open the door and let her in. She stepped into the house, expertly removing her high heels at the entryway, and rushed straight toward my daughter, Xiao Xiao. She choked up, "Xiao Xiao, it's mommy." Xiao Xiao, who was only 3 years old, burst into tears as soon as the strange woman picked her up. The woman hurriedly comforted her, "Xiao Xiao, don't cry, mommy is here." That gentle swaying motion was identical to how my wife, Chen Shuidao, used to soothe her. I raised my phone, comparing the woman in the photo with the woman in front of me. Her delicate eyebrows, high bridge of her nose, and slightly upturned red lips, the faces and figures of the two were almost identical. "What are you looking at?" Lowering her guard, the woman curiously leaned in close to me and snatched my phone to check. "Who is this woman? She looks so familiar," she asked after seeing the photo. I replied, "Is there a possibility that she is you?" "Oh, right." Remembering something, she stroked her chin with her fair hand, looking satisfied. "This is me. I am indeed very beautiful." Not recognizing herself, I didn't know how to respond for a moment. "Why is the house so messy?" Putting down the phone, she looked around and finally glared at me with dissatisfaction. "And look at you, with your stubble, why don't you shave? And this hair, why does it look like a chicken coop?" Saying this, she reached out and ruffled my hair. She felt both strange and deeply familiar to me. I subconsciously replied, "After my wife passed away, there was no one to watch the child. I quit my job at the big tech firm to be a full-time dad at home while starting up my own studio. Work has been busy lately, so I haven't had time to clean." Before I could finish, she burst into tears and suddenly threw herself into my arms. Holding me tight, she cried, "Hubby, I'm sorry. You've been raising Xiao Xiao all by yourself, acting as both father and mother. It's my fault, it's all my fault. It was raining that day, and I couldn't see clearly when crossing the intersection, so I got hit by a car and died." Boo-hoo. The more she cried, the more shocked I became. I cautiously asked, "Are you really Shui Yao?" "It's me, I am Shui Yao. I'm your wife, Qin Shui Yao." Boo-hoo. Qin Shui Yao and I grew up together in an orphanage, sharing countless memories. I cautiously probed further, "You say you are Shui Yao, then let me ask you. What is our orphanage director's name?" Hearing this, the woman lifted her head, wiped away the crystal tears hanging beneath her eyes, and said, "The director's surname is Li, named Li Shinsai. We all call her Mother Li." Oh my god, I showed an expression of disbelief. She continued, "When we were young, 3 girls always bullied me. You couldn't stand it and fought them, and they ended up pulling your pants down." Cough, stop. I quickly reached out to cover her mouth, stopping her from continuing. "Xiao Xiao is still here, don't say any more for now. Do you believe I am your wife now?" "Yes." I nodded solemnly. Though this sounded quite bizarre, my intuition told me that she was indeed Shuiyao. No, that's not right, I should say Shuiyao was inside her body. I couldn't believe she had actually returned. I wanted to touch Shuiyao's face, but the face of the woman in front of me was too fair and exquisite, like a fragile porcelain doll. I stretched my hand out in front of her, not daring to touch. But through her eyes, I saw my Shuiyao, she lived right inside there. "Shuiyao, I miss you so much," I said, tears streaming down my face. Both she and I were orphans, each being the other's only one. Without her, if not for our daughter, I really wouldn't have been able to carry on. Don't cry, she said, wiping my tears like comforting a child. I'm back, I'm back. I nodded, and then, unable to control myself any longer, I pulled her into a tight embrace. At this moment, regardless of who this woman's original body belonged to, I only recognized her as Shueyao. We embraced tightly, and Xiao Xiao edged closer at this moment. A 3-year-old child didn't understand much, she just wanted to join in too. Daddy, hug. The two of us parted, and I picked Xiao Xiao up, placing her between us. Call her mommy, Xiao Xiao, this is your mommy. Mommy. Hearing Xiao Xiao call her mommy, Chen Shuyao quickly responded, come, let mommy hug you. Seeing my daughter able to throw herself into her mother's arms, tears streamed down my face once again. She held little Anan, feeling sleepy, and let out a yawn. Seeing this, my reincarnated wife skillfully and gently rocked her, whispering a lullaby-like chant, and our daughter quickly fell asleep. After putting her daughter into the crib, she stood up and stretched her body, saying, "This body is a bit different from my own." I asked her how it was different. She stretched her body again, thought for a moment, and said, "I feel like this body is full of energy, holding little Anan for a while doesn't make me tired at all. Unlike my previous body, which collapsed after giving birth, and holding little Anan for just a bit exhausted me." I thought about it and said, "It's probably because you are younger now." Hearing this, my reincarnated wife pouted, "Are you calling me old?" I paused, but still spoke the truth, "She looks younger than you, at least 3 or 4 years younger." Humph. My reincarnated wife snorted softly and rolled her eyes at me again, "I just got back, I don't want to fight with you." Then she looked at my unshaven face, "Look at yourself. I've only been away from home for a few days, and you've turned yourself into this ghostly shape, looking like a sloppy uncle. Go to the bathroom, shave your beard, and take a good shower." I was pushed into the bathroom by her. When I came out, that sloppy image was gone, replaced by a clean, handsome face. Seeing this, Shui Yao nodded with satisfaction, "That's more like it. I need to take a shower too." I ran all the way home from the primary school entrance, and after running for so long, I sweated a lot. She said as she sat in front of the vanity mirror, taking off her earrings, then stood up and started taking off her dress. The two of us were an old married couple and knew each other inside out, so there was nothing wrong with Shui Yao undressing in front of me. However, her current body was not the familiar one of my wife, but that of the young miss. When the peeled radish appeared before me, I raised an eyebrow, "You two really are different." Shui Yao's body after giving birth. "Oh, why is your body so agile lately?" Chen Shuadao thought to herself that this body was completely new to her, which brought a massive thrill. Furthermore, she felt that wearing someone else's clothes in front of her husband was like putting a green hat on herself. "Does it look good?" she asked me with a gloomy expression. Being an experienced man who deeply understood the rules of survival, I curled my lips and said, Actually, your current figure is far worse than before." Consider that a correct answer." Chen Shuadao took her pajamas, took off her dress, and went to take a bath. Lying on the bed, I pinched my arm to make sure I wasn't dreaming. I broke into a happy smile. Chen Shuadao had truly returned. In my free time, I pulled out my phone to search about Chen Shuadao's situation, looking up terms like rebirth and soul possession, but no one could explain it. However, there were other real cases. Chen Shuadao borrowing Lu Ruyan's body to be reborn was not the only instance. Similar cases had occurred, though scientists have yet to provide a reasonable explanation. While scrolling through my phone, I accidentally spotted a piece of hot news regarding Lu Ruyan. Breaking, an unusual incident occurred at the scene of Gu Beichen's 3 Golden Awards Best Actor ceremony. The one known as Princess Jinxian, film investor Lu Ruyan, was surprisingly absent from her partner Gu Beichen's award ceremony. As his constant companion for the past 3 years, her absence this time has caused a huge stir in the industry. The atmosphere at the venue fell into an awkward silence. Lu Ruyan, also known as Princess Jinxian, the wealthy heiress, seemed to be taking a shower at my house right now. Looking at the posting time of this news, which was tonight, I suspected that the person who abandoned the best actor was not Lu Ruyan herself at all, but my Chen Shuadao. Surely, as soon as Shuao woke up, she would definitely return home first. She must have suddenly woken up at the hall, taken over Lu Ruyan's body, and then left the movie king behind to return home. Waiting for Shuya to dry her soaking wet hair and step out of the bathroom, I held my phone out in front of her. "Wife, is this you?" Shuya took the phone, looked at it for a moment, and nodded, saying, "Yeah, it's me. When I woke up back then, I missed you and Xiao Xiao so much that I came straight back." I smiled and put the phone away. "I heard that this body of yours and movie king Gu Beichen are secret lovers." You leaving him all alone at the award ceremony venue and running off is no different from slapping him in the face. Hearing this, Shuyo pouted, I don't care about some movie king or whatever. My husband is you, Xiao Xiao is my daughter, and anyone else doesn't matter. I frowned slightly, lost in thought, it can't be like that. Since you have entered someone else's body, you can't just do whatever you want. You must handle her social relationships well for her. Shuyo was surprised, do you mean you want me to go back to that goo movie king guy and sleep with him? How could that be allowed? No, that's not what I meant, I hastily corrected her. I mean you are currently Lu Ruyan, the Jinxian princess. You can't let others realize you aren't her. As for the relationship with Gu Baichen, just publicly state that he is not your lover, and tell him to stay away from you in the future. With Shuyo inside Lu Ruyan's body, she is my wife, and I don't want anyone else coveting her. Ah, I get it. You mean I shouldn't have just brushed things off and walked away at the venue? But I really missed you and Xiao Xiao, at that moment, I couldn't stay for even one more minute. I understood Shuyo's feelings. If it were me, I would probably also rush back home to find my wife and child at the very first moment. Whatever you want, anyway, you are the Jinxian princess now. I heard your family is extremely rich, so you can do whatever you like. I took back my previous words. At this moment, Shuyo seemed to think of something and gave me a wink. Hubby, while Xiao Xiao is fast asleep, why don't we play a game? Playing a game was our secret code, which meant doing some exercise before bed. With just this one sentence, I could instantly confirm that she was indeed Shuyo. Bring it on, who's afraid of whom? After all, Shuyo was now occupying the body of Princess Jinxian. No matter what, she was still my wife. Wife, since you left, I haven't had any fun for half a year. I'm not afraid of you, my hands are itching too. Hearing me mention our secret code, Shuyo narrowed her eyes and smiled. She had been dead for half a year, yet she thought it had only been a month or two. Our conversation was a bit odd, but the topic remained unchanged. If you want to play a game, let's go outside. Don't wake Xiao Xiao up in the bedroom. Shuyo nodded toward the living room and then walked out. I immediately followed. Having not fired a shot for half a year, this was supposed to be a thoroughly satisfying battle. However, not long after the battle began, Shuyo cried out in discomfort. We stopped to figure out what was wrong, and suddenly we were both stunned. She was Princess Jinxian, who was constantly rumored to be intimately involved with film Emperor Gu Baichen. How could she still be a virgin? I couldn't believe it. The rumors about Lu Ruyan and the film Emperor's romance were highly likely fake, as she was still pure. Shuyo was also filled with disbelief, patting her forehead. What a headache, no wonder. I'm speechless, I have to suffer through this pain all over again. Hearing that Shuyo had to suffer this pain once more, I actually felt a tiny bit of secret joy. Shuyo was back. I thought that from now on, our family of three could return to how we used to be. But things were not that simple. The next day, she woke up and asked coldly, who are you? And where is this? I could no longer treat this woman as Shuyo. Because when she woke up, the look in her eyes was no longer sparkling, it was filled only with coldness. I knew Shuyo had departed again. At this moment, I had no idea how to explain things to the young lady of the Lu family, especially after what happened last night. Lu Ruyan remained frank about this body matter. I even thought that if she sued me for rape, I would highly likely end up in prison. What would Xiao Xiao do then? It seemed the only way left was to send her to an orphanage. My poor Xiao Xiao. Mommy. My daughter skipped over to Lu Ruyan, grinning silly at her. What did you call me? You called me Mom? Could it be that I have traveled through time? I was amused by Lu Ruyan's muttering. She actually thought she had traveled through time. Miss Lu, I think it is better to let you know the truth. Sorry, let me tell you a bizarre story first. After I finished explaining last night's events, Lu Ruyan processed it for a moment and came to her own understanding. So, I didn't travel through time. Instead, your deceased wife entered my body, returned to this home, and slept with you? I shrugged. Although it sounded bizarre, it was the truth. I didn't expect her to return, but I was even more grieved by Shuyo's departure. Xiao Xiao had lost her mother once again, and I had lost my wife once more. It is indeed bizarre. Lu Ruyan rubbed her temples. In fact, she believed the story just now. Because right now, scattered memory fragments were faintly appearing in her mind. There were cries of a man and a woman, the warmth of a family of three. And there was also the image of this man doing push-ups right in front of her eyes, and she could even feel some connection to it. I will investigate this matter thoroughly. Lu Ruyan stood up. Her clothes were still the ones she had hastily thrown on, making her grit her teeth in anger. She glared at me again, her expression becoming extremely stern. What happened last night must not be spoken of. Otherwise, I will make you and your daughter disappear. I had no doubt that she had that power. She was from the upper class, not someone an ordinary citizen like me could afford to offend. I know. I responded seriously. Then, I picked up my daughter, stood up, and left. After I helped her clean up so she could have space to dress, and she had left, I, Chen Mo, returned to the quiet. I thought my life would return to how it was before. However, by evening, my Shuyo appeared once again. Hubby, I'm back. It was still Lu Ruyan. She wore a luxurious mink fur coat, adorned with sparkling jewelry, standing at the door with several bodyguards waving at me. Looking into her eyes, I immediately knew she was my wife, Chen Shuyo. I really couldn't understand, sometimes she's Lu Ruyan, sometimes she's Chen Shuyo. Are these two taking shifts? Come here, everyone help me bring these things into the house. Shuyo turned and ordered the bodyguards to carry the things inside. In the blink of an eye, various gift boxes and packages were piled all over the coffee table. You all can head back, come pick me up tomorrow morning. Yes, young lady. It was truly my first time seeing a line of black-suited bodyguards bowing to someone, looking exactly like in the movies. After the bodyguards left, Shuyo immediately started opening the gift packages and excitedly told me, Hubby, it seems I can take turns controlling this body with eldest Miss Lu. She has it during the day, and I have it at night. I had actually realized this too. She scolded you this morning, didn't she? I sat down and asked, how did you know? Can you two share memories? Yeah, Shuya nodded. I woke up around 7 p.m. tonight, and some fragmented memories entered my brain. I saw from within that she wasn't very friendly toward you. You slept with me using her body. It's already not bad that she didn't cause trouble for you. I spoke up for Lu Ruyan. After all, she hadn't done anything to me this morning. You don't need to be afraid of her, Shuyo said coquettishly. I can share control of the body with her. If she dares to do anything to you, I won't let her off easy either. Hear that? Shuyo's last sentence was full of energy. After saying it, she told me that those words weren't meant for me, but rather a warning message left for Lu Ruyan. Next, she took out from. Shuyo took a green watch out of the package and put it on my wrist. Look, this is a famous brand watch. It cost more than 5 million yuan. The cold metal strap pressed against my skin. Just as I was about to ask her where she got the money, I remembered that although Shuyo had no money, Lu Ruyan did. I then asked, did you spend his money? Shuyo nodded, lowered her head, and excitedly said to me, let me tell you, he is super rich. Just one of his bank cards has 2 billion yuan. This figure rang in my ears, making my temples throb. It was an unimaginable number to me. Xiao, these bracelets and necklaces are all yours. Shuyo again took exquisite necklaces and bracelets out of the package and put them on her daughter. As if that was not enough, there were all kinds of designer clothes, toys, and accessories, filling the coffee table to the brim. There were even 2 sets of real estate certificates and an invoice for a luxury car. Shuyo confidently told me, these 2 houses and this car were all bought by me. I have only paid for them, but haven't done the transfer procedures yet. You go pick them up tomorrow. I have clearly written that they are voluntary gifts. I hesitated to speak, Shuyo, this is after all money bought by someone else. Before I could finish, she blushed and interrupted, why do you care so much? What if I can't come back tomorrow? Isn't it good to leave some things for you and our daughter? Under the dim yellow light, the tears glistening in her eyes made my throat tighten. At this moment, I understood Shuyo's feelings. She was worried she might not return, and feared that my daughter and I would suffer, which was why she spent Lu Ruyan's money on us. Putting myself in her shoes, if I were Shuyo, I would only buy even more things to leave for Shuyo and Xiao, even giving away all the assets of Jinqian Princess. Even though doing so would be a very poor character, I would still do it without hesitation. Shuyo pulled out another bank card and stuffed it into my hand. There are 200 million in this card. Remember, give our daughter the best school and sign up for the best tutoring classes. This time, I didn't say anything and silently accepted it on behalf of Xiao. In the blink of an eye, the next day arrived. The morning light filtered through the gaps in the curtains. When Lu Ruyan woke up, her eyes were cold, and one look was enough to know she was back. Did you two do that thing again last night? She asked me coldly. Through the fragments of memory, Lu Ruyan saw what Shuyo did last night. What she cared about was that the soreness in her body had not lessened compared to yesterday. With a slight recollection, she saw the image of that man doing push-ups again. Can you two exercise some restraint? She was almost driven to tears of anger. Shui Yao's warning yesterday had some effect. She indeed did not dare to do anything to our father-daughter duo now. What if Shui Yao used her body to live-stream boiling herself in an iron pot? Where would she hide her face? And I also realized that as long as Shui Yao was here, Lu Ruyan could do nothing to us. I smirked at her and said, "President Lu, I'm sorry. The two of us haven't met for half a year, so we couldn't control ourselves." Lu Ruyan shut her mouth, accepting her bad luck. "Also, my wife spent some of your money last night," I told her somewhat sheepishly. After all, she was the real owner of this body. "Go ahead and spend it, as long as you don't suddenly run away like during the last award ceremony." Regarding spending her money, Lu Ruyan didn't seem to care at all. No wonder my wife said she had endless money, so poor that she only had money left. After a while, the bodyguard arrived to pick up Lu Ruyan, bringing a man along. It was the movie king, Gu Baichen. When the man in the sharp suit entered the living room, he saw Lu Ruyan reclining on the sofa. With one hand supporting her head and the other teasing the child in front of her, she looked completely like she was coaxing a baby. Meanwhile, I was walking out of the kitchen holding a dish of food. Su Kei had just stepped out. I was cooking just now, and seeing Lu Ruyan free, I asked her to help watch the child. Seeing this, Gu Baichen was instantly consumed with anger. Based on the investigation data gathered overnight, he stared at Lu Ruyan with hostile eyes and shouted, "Ruyan, you actually moved into this man's house? Are you so eager that you would even become a stepmother for his child?" Hearing this, Lu Ruyan frowned, her gaze darkening. Her thin lips parted as she coldly said, "Gu Baichen, although you are the son of Wang Ma, that doesn't mean you can boss me around. Know your place." After being met with such a cold attitude, the famous movie king instantly deflated and quickly lowered his voice to apologize. "I'm sorry, I only misspoke because I felt it wasn't worth it for you." It seemed that in front of a capitalist, even a movie king was nothing. Su Kei waved his hand, and though Gu Baichen wanted to say more, he was grabbed by the arms by the security guards and dragged outside. "Mama, I'm scared." Xiao Xiao, with a frightened expression, huddled closely against Lu Ruyan. Without a second thought, Lu Ruyan bent down and picked Xiao Xiao up to comfort her. Her movements were incredibly similar to Chen Shuiao's. "Don't be afraid, Xiao Xiao. Good girl." This was the first time Lu Ruyan had ever held a child. Her actions just now were entirely instinctual. After comforting Xiao Xiao, she suddenly came to her senses. Without realizing it, she seemed to have naturally slipped into the role of the child's mother. I also looked at her in astonishment, and couldn't help but ask, "Shuiao, is that you?" "I am Lu Ruyan." The eldest daughter of the Lu family instantly regained her cold expression. That's right, she was Lu Ruyan. Yet her behavior just now was truly identical to Chen Shuiao's. I shook my head and set the dishes I was holding on the table. Lu Ruyan put Xiao Xiao down and gently massaged her temples, her face showing a hint of helplessness and melancholy. "Your wife and I share the same body. She left behind too many memories, and they have deeply affected me." Hearing this, I suddenly remembered that they shared memories. My mind flashed back to the private games my wife and I used to play, and I wondered if Did Lu Ruyan also know the whole process? "That, our game at night, do you remember it too?" "No, I don't remember." She suddenly raised her head to look at me, her eyes seemingly erupting with something unpleasant. That gaze did not look like she hadn't seen it at all, it was more like she was offended and wanted to cut me into 1,000 pieces. It is good not to remember, indeed. I was certain she saw things she shouldn't have through the shared memory, but there was no need for adults to point it out. I simply followed her words to gloss over the topic. "Why don't you stay and eat? I've prepared breakfast, and Lu Ruyan helped me look after the child just now," I said politely to her. Lu Ruyan ate delicacies every day, so she probably wouldn't care for an ordinary family's home-cooked meal. Sure enough, she threw down a flat no and walked away. I walked her out. When we reached the doorway, she suddenly turned around. "You didn't tell me. Tell your wife to stop wearing mink coats and so much jewelry. She looks like a nouveau riche, so ugly." In the morning, following the address and phone number left by Shuiao, I went to transfer the titles of 2 properties and a car. In the bright hall of the property transaction center, the staff skillfully checked the documents, and the printer spat out pages of paperwork. The sunlight shone through the glass curtain wall onto the gold-stamped property certificates, refracting tiny specks of light. In a daze, it looked just like Shuiao's bright, twinkling eyes. Meanwhile, in the suburbs, Lu Ruyan climbed the stone steps step by step, arriving at the Buddhist temple halfway up the mountain. This trip had two purposes: first, to pray for blessings; second, to ask the master to perform a ritual to drive away the other soul inside her body. After devoutly praying, she inserted the incense into the burner, and then went to the master with her assistant. She merely raised her eyelids, and the assistant understood, dispersing the people around them, leaving only Lu Ruyan and the master. Master. She had just opened her mouth when the master waved his hand directly. No need to say more, I already know everything. You already know? He is black, you are white. The master opened his eyes slightly, then closed them again, continuing to speak with a mysterious expression. It is just an obsession. When the time comes, it will naturally disappear. He is black, I am white? Lu Ruyan frowned, pondering. It seemed the master meant that he appeared at night, while she appeared during the day. This master indeed had some real ability. It is just an obsession. When the time comes, it will naturally disappear. She continued to speculate that this phrase seemed to imply it was only a lingering obsession, which would vanish on its own when the time was right. I understand. Lu Ruyan raised her eyes to look at the master, then lowered her head slightly. Thank you for your guidance, master. You are not innocent either, this is also your destiny. The master added one more sentence, after which he spoke no more. On the way back, Lu Ruyan repeatedly pondered his words. Why did the master say she was not innocent? Not innocent, and even saying this was her destiny, what on earth did that mean? The master was indeed formidable, seeing through the fact that she and another woman were taking turns controlling the body at a single glance. Yet, the other party still said she was not innocent, which left her utterly confused. Suddenly, Lu Ruyan thought of something, her eyebrows twitching. Could it be because of that matter? That evening, the car drove into the residential area. Before getting out of the car, the assistant reminded her, President Lu, your sunglasses. At this moment, Lu Ruyan's body was occupied by Chen Shuiao. Facing the sunglasses handed over by the assistant, Chen Shuiao looked impatient. It's the middle of the night, visibility is already poor, why should I wear this? But you instructed me during the day to make sure I remind you to wear sunglasses when returning to the residential area at night. The assistant explained with a wronged face. Hearing this, Chen Shuiao hastily searched her memories. It turned out that because rumors of the Jinqian princess keeping a man had appeared online. Although it had been suppressed by Lu Ruyan, but she hoped to keep a low profile tonight, avoiding paparazzi photos of her private life that could be used for negative publicity and affect the company's stock price. She also recalled her husband's advice: since she was occupying someone else's body, she must maintain a good public image. Chen Shuiao took the sunglasses and obediently put them on. Before entering the door, she took the cake from the security guard, smiled, and ran towards her daughter. Xiao Xiao, Xiao Xiao, let's make a wish together. At first, I didn't understand. Today wasn't Xiao Zhao's birthday, so why did she bring a cake home? Just as I was about to ask, I suddenly realized something, and tears began to fall uncontrollably. Shuiao was planning to celebrate her daughter's birthday early, fearing she might never wake up again. Seeing my tears, Shuiao knew I understood. She stepped forward to wipe them away. Hubby, cheer up. Let's take a video with me and Xiao Xiao later. That night, we celebrated Xiao Zhao's birthday while filming many happy moments together. Afterward, Shuiao and I went out to the balcony alone, gazing at the starry night and the brilliant city lights in the distance. It feels like I haven't seen the sunlight in so long, and I can't go to the amusement park with you and Xiao Xiao. I really want to play under the sun with everyone. She could only appear at night, never to see the daytime sun. My heart suddenly ached like a knife twist. My Shuiao had turned into a night elf, unable to even touch the warm sunlight. There was nothing I could do about it except hold her tight and gently stroke her back to comfort her. Shuiao could no longer hold back her emotions and burst into tears. Hubby, I'm so scared. I'm afraid I'll never see you and our daughter again. Only when facing loss do we truly cherish having loved ones by our side. I was terrified too, terrified of losing Shuiao forever. The next day, waking up to find it was still early, I asked Shuiao to play a game with me. She groggily cooperated, though this game for her. During the intense battle, Shuiao's eyes suddenly went black, as if she had fallen into a deep sleep. Immediately after, she opened her eyes again, her gaze turning cold. I instantly froze, my intuition telling me that Lu Ruyan had returned. But we were still in the middle of our game, and I didn't stop. She was dazed for a moment, then closed her eyes. The two of us kept playing the game until we finally cleared it. As I breathed a sigh of relief and lay down to rest, Lu Ruyan's resentful voice instantly echoed in my ear. Playing games first thing in the morning, you didn't even notice Xiao Xiao wet the bed. Discovering that Xiao Xiao, who was lying in the crib, had wet the bed, she immediately got up, picked Xiao Xiao up to the bed and skillfully pulled out some tissues to wipe her down. Listening to the cold voice, it was indeed Lu Ruyan, but seeing her skillful wiping movements, she seemed more like Shuiao. Shui. Shuiao? I asked tentatively, naturally wishing in my heart that she was my wife. Unfortunately, she wasn't. Stunned by my question, Lu Ruyan finally realized that she was not Qin Shuiao, but Lu Ruyan. Looking at the tissue in her hand, she was about to go crazy. It was once again the influence of Qin Shuiao's memories. As the high and mighty Jinxian princess, she was actually wiping a child's body, and it was completely subconscious. I must have owed you two in my past life. Leaving these words behind, she threw down the tissue, grabbed her clothes, and strode out of the bedroom. Recognizing that she was Lu Ruyan, I felt a bit disappointed, but also slightly thrilled. I am a man, not a saint. I would naturally feel attracted to a beautiful, arrogant woman. Just now, I seemed to have achieved it, conquering that high and mighty queen. Once I finished cleaning up Xiao Xiao and held her hand to leave the bedroom, I found that Lu Ruyan hadn't left as usual. Why haven't you left yet? I asked curiously. She replied coldly, pack up and come out with me. On a side note, Lu Ruyan suddenly took me and Xiao Xiao to the amusement park. We were like a family of three, with Xiao Xiao walking in the middle, while Lu Ruyan and I each held one of her hands, strolling through the park. We took a lot of photos and played some children's games. Seeing the photos of the three of us bathed in the warm sunlight, I suddenly thought, taking a child to an amusement park with a woman who isn't my wife, does this count as an affair? Lu Ruyan stared blankly at the photo, her eyes turning red as two streams of tears suddenly rolled down her cheeks. She murmured, thank you. Suddenly, it dawned on me, Shuiao was here too. I stared into Lu Ruyan's teary eyes, Shuiao? Yeah, she whispered, her eyes gazing at me with deep attachment, hubby, I have to go now. Sensing something was wrong, I hurriedly reached out to grab her hand. The moment our fingers touched, Lu Ruyan smiled, closed her eyes, and collapsed into my arms. Shuiao. At that moment, I felt as if I were plunging into darkness once again, screaming in agonizing heartbreak. But soon, Lu Ruyan opened her eyes again, and her gaze returned to its usual indifferent and cynical look. Yet, when she looked at me and Xiao Xiao, there was a trace of reluctance in her eyes. She is gone, please restrain your grief. Lu Ruyan stood up and said calmly. I wept silently, because I knew that this time, Shuiao would never return. She had completely left me and Xiao Xiao forever. Seeing me cry, Lu Ruyan clutched her chest, feeling a sudden, inexplicable sharp pain in her heart. It was the memories. Although Chen Shuiao had departed, she had left all of her memories behind. Lu Ruyan had merged with those memories, which triggered a powerful surge of empathy. Unable to bear it any longer, she hurriedly turned around and left. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. At that moment, Xiao Xiao was watching television, the maid was busy in the kitchen, while I opened my computer and held the NTH video conference for our studio, drawing a bright future for the staff while directing our master plan. Of course, my promises were not in vain. Just yesterday, our studio's daily turnover exceeded 1 million yuan. 1010 Moreover, in my studio, everyone holds shares. I was originally a workaholic from a major tech company, leading a group of like-minded young triers to carve out a path in this turbulent information age. 1010 Just as I thought, Shuiao has completely left. Ever since our parting at the amusement park a month ago, Lu Ruyan has never set foot in my house again. 1010 Although Shuiao only returned for a brief 3 nights, she was like a beam of moonlight, healing and illuminating my nearly withered heart. I will carry the love left by Shuiao and continue to live resiliently with our daughter, Xiao Xiao. 1010 At this moment, my daughter pointed at the television and shouted loudly. I turned my head to look, and Lu Ruyan appeared on the TV screen. 1010 She was wearing an elegant women's business suit, having just signed an important project abroad. Standing out in the crowd, she was as dazzling and radiant as a bright pearl. 1010 However, her lively eyes were no longer as icy cold as before, they had softened a lot now. What's more, I noticed that Lu Ruyan's lower abdomen seemed to be slightly bulging. 1010 A possibility instantly flashed through my mind. No way, right? Thinking of that possibility, my eyes narrowed, and I murmured in disbelief, could she really be pregnant? 1010 During those 3 passionate nights, Shuiao and I completely lost ourselves, and we didn't use protection several times. The probability of Lu Ruyan getting pregnant was extremely high. 1010 Ding dong. The doorbell rang at that moment, and Aunt Li quickly walked out of the kitchen to open the door. I turned my head to look outside. 1010 The door swung wide open, and a woman in an elegant red dress walked in, curling her lips into a gentle smile at me. Is it Lu Ruyan? 10-10 no, her gaze was gentle yet sharp. Through her eyes, I saw Shuao, and I also saw Lu Ruyan.